welcome to the next tutorial. Obviously, if you're looking at the screen, you know we're going to be working on Krusty the Clown, but more importantly, we're going to start off from Homer Simpson. That's right, if you did the tutorial for Homer Simpson, then you have done most of the work. And we're going to start with moving it over some. Actually, so here's the Krusty that we have, and I'm going to just go over to show you. This is what I'm going for. And I actually just realized that I missed the feet, which is good. You'll be seeing how I would do something like this, and then I don't know, do it better yourself, because I'm pretty sure you'll find a faster way to do it than the way I did it. So let's move on. Think I got everything else though. Think we're good to go. All right, let's do this. So first of all, let's just get rid of this right here. Don't need the donut and the hand. That's going to change. And let's work our way down, shall we? Let's focus on the heads. So let's get rid of the hair. Don't need that, obviously. And something that I was surprised by, I didn't realize it, his skin tone is different. It's more like clown makeup, so that's the color we're going to use. There you go. There's that one. We're going to change the eyebrows too, because Homer Simpson's kind of given up on life, and he's kind of sad and just he's there. But Krusty, he's still trying. So we're going to turn these eyebrows, or I don't know, bone structure, whatever it is, up. That way he looks happy and surprised and like he cares about life. All right, that's not bad. And the eyelids are going to go away. Don't need the eyelids because Krusty's trying to freak you out. And who needs eyelids when you're trying to do that? So, whoa, I'm just going to zoom in on the eyeballs. I'm just going to move them over a little bit. And then, I'm not sure if you noticed this, but I just use the arrow keys to move them left and right. And I'm going to change my settings in the snap grid to 0.1 just because I want a little more control over the eye size. There you go. If you noticed, one eye is bigger than the other. That is perfect for a clown. Seriously, it is. Let's change the ear color. And let's get rid of that ball of food in this guy's mouth. Also the face, the nose. Let's just get rid of the nose because I tried changing the nose to something a little more flat, but keeping the same shape didn't work. So I'm going to use an eyeball. I'm going to duplicate the eyeball that's there and move it over, color it red, that red right there. Move it down a little bit, and I'm going to hit let's zoom in a little bit. I'm going to hit the shift button and then hold this down so it stays circular. And I'll move it down right about there. All right, let's see if we can focus on this guy. All right, so there we go. That's not bad. I'm going to get rid of this bottom lip right there. And I'm going to get rid of the bottom big part and just leave his lip. I'm going to move it over a little bit. There you go. So Krusty's mouth is just a little bit wider, so I'm going to change this to 15, I believe. 15 should be fine. There you go. Now, of course, when you're making your own, you can adjust them however you want. Looks like he's sticking out a little bit. And I'm going to change this to a lighter brown. I think no, that is not brown at all. That looks brownish. Yeah, those colors are pretty similar. All right. And the mouth also needs to be tilted. I'm not sure if you guys noticed this. This part right here needs to be tilted a little bit. And there you go. I'm going to change this right here to, let's say, 12. There you go. That's stretched. That looks better. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Krusty's eyes are higher up on the face. So we're going to move it up. I'm probably going to lose an eyeball, though. Oh, yeah. I missed something there. There you go. Just move it up right about there. It gives us more space to play with the mouth and everything, just because the original Homer doesn't have that much space there. All right, I'm going to shrink the mouth just a little bit. There you go. And then move it up. There you go. And I'm going to move it forward with the arrow keys, move it forward. Now this part right here. Wow. I'm not sure if you noticed, it's crooked. So I'm going to straighten it out a little tiny bit. Okay. Now, I'm also going to change this to, let's see, the bottom part to 13. If I remember correctly, that's the way I did it. I need to change the color. It just looks funny without the right color. Okay. Also, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt it. Wow, it looks like he got a donut stuck on his face, which I don't think Homer would mind too much. All right, so there we go. I'm going to tilt it just a little bit more. And then move it back some with the arrow key. The arrow key's on my keyboard. That I'm just telling you because I want you to know how I'm moving these things. I'm going to put a cylinder in there, a black one. I'm going to change this side so that it's super smooth, and I'm going to make it black. And I'm going to hit the shift button. That way it stays black and it can go down. There you go. Let's move that up. And then shift again. And now I'm just going to make it. What did we get here? Ultimately, let's try 2. And then make the sides. I think it's going to need to be bigger. So let's make it a 7 by 7. All right. I'm going to move this up. Already I can tell I need to move it or make it bigger. All right, let's rotate this thing so it's the same angle. I'm going to use the control button and the up arrow. Whoa, it does something different in my, I'm using a Mac, on my Mac, but on a Windows computer that most of you are using, I think, control and the up arrow should work just fine. Okay, I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Let's make it like 8. Now let's make it 9. All right, and I'm going to move it with the arrow key and the control down if you're using a PC to move it down, and then back again because I want the lips to be fairly even. All right, are we good there? I feel like on this one the mouth is sticking out a little bit more, so I'm going to make the mouth stick out a little bit more. And now that part. And now the lip, and now that part. Oops. Let's zoom in here. There you go. All right, that's good enough. I'm going to put his tongue there so you can see it. I'm going to use a nose. I'm going to duplicate that one, bring it down, and then use the arrow key to move it forward. And let's zoom in here with the letter F so I can focus on this. I'm going to make it wide and then turn it a little bit. We're right there. Turn it a little bit. And then I'm going to duplicate it and then move that one. Where did it go? Oh, no, I'm going to duplicate it again. And then I'm going to move it over a little bit. All right. And now for some teeth, let's go ahead and I like for teeth, I don't know why. I just like doing the rounded shape. That one right there. It's called rounded cube. Let's step back. Let's put this right there. Now the rounded cube, let's put it right near his face. There you go. There you go. Perfect. I think we're done with this one. It looks perfect. Well, now that it's white, now it's perfect. I'm going to shrink this down to what? I'm going to guess, yeah, let's make it 5 for right now until we get a closer look. I'm going to move it up into his face so I can see what it looks like on his face. And I have a feeling this guy's going to look like a giant chipmunk. I'm going to use the letter F to get close up. Whoa, that is a huge tooth. I'm going to hit shift and hold that. Yeah, go down and then move that up. And shift again. And then up. And then shift again. Actually, let's make this thinner. Let's go with 1. Oops, hit the wrong corner. 1. Right there. Much better, but I can't see it. So I'm going to use the arrow keys. Again, the arrow keys, you got to get used to them because sometimes these things are so small that we're working with, we have to be able to zoom in fairly quickly. All right, so the final dimensions of this thing is 1.8 by, wait, I don't even know it's the final dimension. Let's go ahead and move it up and back. All right. This mouth is getting in the way here. The tongue, this part, and that part. Let's move it down a little bit so we have more space here. Okay. And let's zoom in with the letter F. Whoa, that is closer than I wanted to be. All right, so the final dimensions of this tooth is, so the thickness is 0.58, if I remember, yeah. And I would say the width going across, you can put 2 or 1.8. And the height, what do we get for the height? Let's do it up here. Height is 1.8 as well. So we got 1.8, 1.8, and 0.58 as the thickness. Yeah, I'm going to move this guy forward a little bit. Otherwise, it just looks too weird. That's better. Oh, don't like that part. We'll fix that later. All right, so the tooth, I'm just going to duplicate that and then move it over with the arrow key. Move that over so that it's centered. All right, so now I'm going to select both of them, but I'm not sure if you noticed, that tooth's sticking out right there. That one there too. Okay, I'm going to duplicate these, duplicate, and then move them over to the left. I'm not going to adjust them just yet, but I will later. I'm going to duplicate them again, and they should show up over there, but I'm going to click, hold the shift button, and then move it over here. And now I'm just going to move the teeth around. Let's just go. Whoa, did I delete that? All right, so I'm just going to turn the tooth over. I'm going to turn the tooth over. Where is the arrow? Do you guys see the arrow anywhere? I feel like Dora. Do you see an arrow? There you go. Now, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, but originally, if I read it correctly, Homer was supposed to be Krusty the Clown, and then they changed their mind to make Krusty someone completely different. So Homer was going to dress up as Krusty the Clown and have an alter ego, but they changed it at the last minute. That's why Homer Simpson and Krusty the Clown look so much alike. He was actually going to be Krusty, which, if you follow The Simpsons, Homer is kind of crusty. Alrighty then, so there are the teeth. Kind of freaky, I know. Let's go ahead and look far away. There we go. We got a distance here. Now, the hair. You guys, the hair, it's just a bunch of spheres. Let me show you what I do here for the hair. I'm just going to get a ball, a sphere, change it to dark green, and then move it up on top of his head. Now, I am not going to make... Whoa, that looks pretty cool. I'm going to move that straight up. I'm going to hit the shift button, and then... Now, mind you, the sphere does not have to be perfectly spherical. It does not. It could just be, semi or rounded or whatever. And essentially, all I'm going to do is... let me focus on here so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to duplicate, which is... Control D and then move it over, Control D and then move that over, and then Control D and then move that over. That's it. I'm just going to keep on doing that until I get something that looks like his hair. So I'm not going to walk you through that. In fact, let's just go ahead and copy this. Let's duplicate it and move it over here. Here we go. And then I'm going to duplicate that one. And I'm going to change this. By the way, some shortcuts is to make a group, duplicate it, and then extend it out to the right, duplicate it, extend it out to the right, and then adjust it as you're moving it. Don't just drag a bunch of spheres over here. Use what you have, duplicate it, move it over until you have what you got. All right, so let's go ahead. We are not going to change his, actually his face should be, let's look at the picture again. I didn't really study his face in the last picture. Okay, so even his neck should be a different color. If you notice, this neck, I didn't get to do it, but this neck, it's going to be correct if I can choose the correct neck. There, I think that I did it there. Nailed it. All right. Now the shirt obviously is going to be some type of purple. And for those of you that know the colors, I know there's another name for it. I don't know the other name for purples. I hear violet. I hear other things. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, I chose his belly. Don't want his belly. I want his shirt. So close to purple. Okay. Now we're going to work on his arm and then the bow tie. So I'm going to choose both arms right there. I'm sorry, both parts of his arm right there. And then I'm going to move it over with the arrow key and up at the same time, over. And this one here, this yellow part, that needs to be rotated. So let me get a focus. See, it's like pointing down, which is weird unless he had a broken arm. And I'm just going to go 180 degrees. There you go. I'm going to get rid of his hand. Should I get rid of his hand? Nah, let's just use his hand. I'm going to change that to white. Why? Because his hand's white. All right, great. This one we need to rotate twice. All right, so let's go ahead and rotate it that way and that way, 180 in that direction. Now let's move it up. I'm going to use, again, with that thing. Any second now, people. Oh, look, I can just drag it over here. There we go. Oh, but that looks weird. So let me just drag it in place where it belongs, right there. Now, honestly, now that I see this, I don't like the way it looks. I'm going to do what I did before. I'm just going to use a hand. So search the hand. Hand. Do you see it? I see it right there. Now, the thing about the hand is that it's not going to fit perfectly. See how big it is? And the other thing is, it's really skinny at the wrist area. So I'm going to hit Shift, drag that down. Now move it up. And I think I'm going to just drag it forward with the arrow key. Okay, not bad. Now I'm not sure if you noticed, but the thumb is on the wrong side. So I'm just going to flip this. There you go, much better. Which means now I got to rotate this part right there, move it up a little bit, rotate it there, move it up, move it, move it. I got stuck. And then I'm going to move it closer here. Now here's the best thing about, whoa, I'm glad I checked. You guys need to check yours too, because hands are kind of important. All right, here's the cool thing about hands that have gloves. You can always put a torus on there. I'm going to rotate that to 90, drag it up, change it to white, and then drag it up again, and then shrink it when you hit the Shift button while I do this right there, and move it forward, down a little bit. I'm going to make that smaller because that's way too big. Oops, right there. And I'm going to rotate the angle just a little bit so it's, let me focus in there. So it's aligned with this. I'm going to change the angle a little bit. There it is. Now this torus, the donut looking shape, really good for hiding the imperfections of a hand. Seriously, it does that very well. Now I want the hand to cover more of this, so I'm just going to make it a little bit thicker. The hand is right now at 9.6. Let's make it 11 and see what happens. All right, that's not bad. But this donut thing, I'm just going to move it closer, right there. All right, what did that do over here? I'm just going to move it forward here and then rotate it just a little bit. All right, I like it. It's going to go down a little bit. All right, we're good. Not as good as I like, but I'm going to move it over and then, okay. So because it's done, I'm just going to, oh wait, you know what? I don't like this. I need to rotate it a little bit. That way it looks like it's actually trying to, there's an arm in there. So now I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to select the arm and the torus. I'm going to duplicate it, and then, you know, I'm going to make it face the other way. I'm going to hit Shift and then drag this thing over here, and we're done with that part. Now the bow tie. Bow tie is going to be super easy. I'm just going to duplicate the nose, drag it straight down, and make it some sort of aqua. Now again, sorry if I don't know the name, but here's the cool part. I like using these shapes, the shape generators, and we get to use a brand new one today. This one is called hyperboloid. That was easy for me to say. Change that to the same color. Why not? I'm going to rotate it. All right, let's move it to his neck. Well, how did I miss that? Move it to right there. I'm going to hit shift and then move it down and then up and forward. All right, let's look to see what we have here. I'm going to put that at 1 and then move that again forward with the arrow key because I can't possibly click on this thing. What did I do? Oh, okay. That looks better. But I'm going to shrink this, move it up a little bit, move it over. Let's get both Krusties involved with this. All right. Looks like I need to make this one still smaller. So move it up a little bit. I like that. Okay. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this little triangle here by clicking on Homer and, come on, maybe his shirt. What I'm looking for is this paraboloid. Okay, I got it. I'm going to deselect that. Get rid of, I'm going to click away and then click on this. Now let's change the color back. Okay, we're good. And now for the pants. The pants are going to be some sort of light green. I know there's another name for that. My apologies. I am limited in my color vocabulary. I want to say the word moss, but I have a feeling that might be incorrect. Whoa, got rid of his leg. Okay, and let's focus on the pants because I'm not sure if you noticed, but Homer's pants don't go all the way down, but Krusty's, they go down. So let's make that 33 if I remember correctly. And the other side also 33. We're almost done here. And now the shoes, Krusty's shoes. Let's get rid of Homer's shoes right there. Krusty's shoes are going to be a basic shape. I think most of you know because when we do characters, we use this shape a lot. This is the half sphere. I'm going to change it to some sort of orangey color. I'm going to flatten it. Let's get it from above. That way we can see everything. There you go. And then we're going to stretch it out. Okay, and I'm going to rotate a little bit. Move it back. That's fine. All right, so, I mean, looks like a shoe. I'm just going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to change the direction. There you go. I'm going to mirror it to go the other side. We are almost done now. This is the part that I forgot to do last time. How would I do this part? How would I do that part? Hopefully you're thinking that you know how to do it, but let me think. Okay, so it's spherical, so it's going to be like a flat circle, but then we want it to have like a little loop thingy. How do I create a little loop thing? Okay, so this is the way I would do it. I'm not sure if it's going to look good, but I'm going to try it anyways. Let's see how big this is. Okay, so let's just say 14. 14. Oh, I clicked on the wrong one. Let's go 14. Oh, I want it to be bigger than 14. So let's go 18 by 18. And let's make this 1. All right. And again, let's make it the color that it's going to be. Let me just test out the size here. And if this were, whoa, that needs to be undone. Okay. No, it needs to be bigger. All right, let's move it over here. And I'm going to click the D for down. And then also going to focus on this. You know what, guys? I think the 20 might be our best bet. Great, here it is. Let's change the size while we're at it. Okay, so this is what I would do. Again, you can, if you can find another way of doing it, go right ahead. But I am going to do this. I'm going to align these two in this direction. Perfect. And then I'm going to duplicate that and then shift it over here. This one goes over here. And then I'm going to select this one, duplicate, and then I'm going to rotate both of them. Now, right now, looks like a pretty cool soccer ball, if you will. All right. Don't like that it's not as curvy as I would like it to be. So what can I do to make it more curvy? Right now it's, let's see, I can make it that way. And interesting. So let's try this. I'm going to change this dimension here to 30. And then I'm going to try to center it and see what happens. I'll do the same thing over here and see what happens. I'm going to try to make those aligned in that direction. Oh, let me undo that. Undo. Let me show you a trick for those of you that don't know this yet. I don't want this green center to move. So when I hit a line, I need to click on that green center and now it will no longer move. Everything else around it will move. So check this out. That's what I want. All right, that did a little bit better. I want to round these things. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to keep this part right here. And I'm just going to select all that, group it. Okay, we've got a little bit of the shape. So here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to create something that allows me to do the opposite. All right, so I'm going to drag this in, and I'm going to make that a negative. And you guys, you don't have to do it my way. I just like to experiment. And luckily, that's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to group these two things here. Group. I'm going to change this to, let's say, 2. And then the letter T so I can see what's going on. I'm not sure if you guys know that if you click the letter T, it makes it transparent. That's what I want right there. Let's focus in on that. I want it to be curved, and this allows me to get the curvature I want. I'm using the arrow keys to move this around. Wow, I am so impressed with myself right now. I think I'm going to cry. Maybe later. I'm kind of busy right now. Let's go ahead and drag it to go the opposite direction. And of course, I was going to get the other one. Wow, that is amazing. So here's what I'm going to do just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to select both of these, duplicate, mirror in that direction, and then move it. Okay, now I'm going to use the shift and drag. Let's see how much of that stays. All right, not very much there. I'm going to click away. Now I'm just going to try to control this one here. And okay. Now, just because you can see through it doesn't mean it's going to create a hole. So I need to actually tell each of these to become a hole. Now I'm going to group, and there we go. Not bad. I would like the indentations to be a little bit better, but I think we're good with what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to drag that up. Wow. Again, I am so impressed with myself that I want to cry a little bit. Okay. So I'm not sure if you noticed, but in the Krusty that I made, legs are out a little bit. So I'm going to drag, I guess I should drag this circular thing with it too. Let me just move that right there. And the leg, and let's just change it to, let's say what? Let's say 5 degrees, and then we'll move it out a little bit. And then I'm going to duplicate, let's just duplicate that, get rid of that. I'm going to duplicate that right there, and then mirror, and then drag. That way they'll have the same exact angle. And then I'll move the feet to make it, symmetrical, and it looks like it's going to be pointing out too. So let's get a little bit of a gap right there. The foot's going to move over that way. And over here, you guys don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to change the base here. And if you are one of my students, go ahead and say, I love Krusty the Clown, after you raise your hand and I call on you. That way I know you're actually paying attention to this video. Okay, I love Krusty the Clown. Okay, go ahead and raise your hand and say that. And if you're the first one, I'll get you a prize. So congrats. Thank you guys again for all the support and the comments and all that junk that you guys do that makes this just a little more fun than being some guy talking into a microphone. Okay, have a good day.